All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the County Commissioners Court. This is regular term meeting. Today is Monday, January 8th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Happy New Year. We're physically located at the County Courthouse, Commissioners Courtroom, number 110, 105 West Corpus Christi Street, Beeville, Texas, 78102. That was the call to order. And we've all been here for 15 minutes, every single one of us up at this bench, and at no point in that last 15 minutes did I even consider or think about who I was going to impose on to provide us with a brief prayer. So now at this point, Commissioner Fadias, you don't have to raise your hand. Thank you so much. Commissioner Fadias is going to lead us in a brief prayer.
That's such a good job.
He's doing a great job. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for all your blessings. We thank you for the rain that you brought to us. We thank you for watching over us and our county and all the paperwork that we do here. Please continue to guide us and lead us going forward. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas Pledge.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Y'all got really quiet on the play. We all seeing if I was going to float it.
I
I could hear it. Everybody here, they got really quiet. See if I was going to float it. They did. Out of the
One chick.
one chick.
All right.
There you go. This will be the last meeting of the year. No, just kidding. All right. Thank you. We're on agenda item number 4. This is recognition of visitors. I know we do have some visitors in the audience today. This is not public comment. Please hold off on identifying yourself if you'd like to come up and address Commissioner. But for those of y'all that are here, that are visiting today, thank you. Please keep coming back. We appreciate it. And if anybody that doesn't want to speak at public comment but would like the record to reflect that they are present this morning at this point in time, if you'd raise your hand, I'll identify you and you can stand up and tell us who you are. Yes,
Good morning, Audrey Ramirez, and I'm citizen of Precinct 3.
thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And I would know medical student at Texas A&M.
We're so excited that you're here. You're not allowed to leave just yet because I'm going to make you stand up there in public comment. Yes, sir.
Hey, Todd.
Hey, Mr. Todd, how are you, sir? Thank you all for being here. Please keep coming back. Anybody else? All right, moving on. Commissioners Court opening remarks. I believe Commissioner
Just big.
Lenny. All right. Keep it succinct.
No
Brief,
problem.
terse.
It's actually been pretty quiet. I want to attribute that to the holidays, I'm assuming. Had a few phone calls on road issues, a few phone calls on culvert issues. We went to the Judge and Commissioners Conference in Edna in December. And talking about water a while ago, I participated in a polar plunge the day after New Year's Day. It was to raise money for ALS, and if you don't know what that is ALS stands for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. I personally have known 3 people that have passed away from ALS, 2 of which were my patients. And it's just a very, it's a horrible, horrible disease. If you can imagine, you have virtually zero function of your body, but yet your brain is cognitive to know everything that's going on. People ask you questions, make comments to you, and you know exactly what they're saying, but you can't answer back or do anything. It's a horrible disease. So they had this polar plunge there in Corpus Christi, in which they raised $18,143. They've been doing that since 2015, so it was a great cause, and the water was cold. No, it wasn't ice cold like up north, but it was like 61 degrees, so cold enough. So, with that, I will pass to the left.
Thank you, sir. The judge don't have a whole lot. Also attended the Commissioners Conference in Edna. It was excellent. They have it every year, the Extension Service does. Several council of government meetings since the last meeting we had here. Then I want to update everybody on solar and wind situation in another county. San Patricia County, over the holidays, we had one of our Christmases at Gwen's sister in Sinton. I was talking to a farmer from San Patricia County. He said that the wind farms that are on his property are getting later and later with their payments to him. He said one thing he's noticed, though, around Taft, there's oil leaking out of the wind towers. It's running down the blades, it's running down the shaft, on not just one or two, several. Then he said he's also hearing that at least one, maybe more of the wind companies are selling the wind farm to another company. Well, that's not unnormal. That happens. Except what they're doing, they're selling it for like 25 cents on the dollar. Then they're going to the appraisal district and say, okay, we want our taxes based on this new amount, not the old amount. So I think things are going around like that. The wind farms down there that he's talking about been there 6, 7, 8 years. They're past their, if you will, their prime as far as maintenance and upkeep. They're having to spend a lot of money. Just to FYI that it may be coming to us. San Pat County gave a lot of abatements, a lot of tax incentives down there. And now these companies are asking for more by devaluing the amount that the solar wind farms and wind farms are worth. So just FYI. Also hearing there's a big solar farm going in. We knew it was going to. It's going to be east of Tulsita in Goliad County. And according to what I heard, it's going to be huge. I haven't been out there yet, but it's coming around the county. There's one going in on Ellis Road that we're hearing about. Just to keep you up to date. Had a meeting in Mineral with a lot of folks, kind of a town hall. And Judge, with that, I will pass to the left, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Foote?
Thank you, sir. December, how about we're very busy. The tax office bill being done by Adaptive Industries is 98%. And we're going to go through a punch list this afternoon and go through there because they want to turn that job over and finish it. And they have done an excellent job of getting this through. They worked through the holidays. I think they took Christmas off, but they were there the next day. They worked very, steadily throughout. I think the only holdup that we had was a couple of days of trying to get the inspector to go out there, so we just kind of held that up a little bit. And then Mr. Mercer kind of was a little slow about getting out there and checking some of the things, but other than that, that's good. In Blanconia for the fire department, the concrete there was the little block, the frame was broken up this past week, and they've got concrete guys that are going to be pouring concrete this Friday. So, and the steel arrives on Thursday, so we should see a building probably go up within the month, so by the end of the month. Okay. Several calls on from Carr Road, and I called Jesse, and he said he was going to work on those as soon as they got through with Kings Lane. They were going to move this direction, so I got that. The elections office generator should be in by the end of January. I got a call back from Smeckle Electric, and they'll go from there. Shouldn't take long to install. The courthouse generator, by the way, is still, it's being shipped. That's all I got from that.
It's being shipped.
It's being shipped.
It's on a ship somewhere.
Somewhere it's out there.
Goals. Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail, yeah. Goals for 24 is I've got to finish these construction deals here. One of them is, the main one is to finish the tax office. Number 2 is help Blanconia get up and running and get those fire trucks out of everybody's front yards and wherever they're keeping them. Finish the courthouse generator and elections administration office generator. And then we're going to put together the warranty book for the tax office for everybody that was there, so we can have somebody responsible for wherever didn't work, that we can just pick up the phone and call it, hey, you did this, somebody need to take care of these items. And with that, I'll pass to you, sir.
Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Last year, I think, was a great year. I think this year is going to even be a better year. There's a lot of things on the plate. Looking forward to getting those things accomplished this coming year. It's going to be a really, really good year. Same here. Great holidays. I think everyone got to spend a lot of time with their families. I know I did. So hopefully everyone else did as well. A couple of, I guess, highlights that occurred over the past several weeks. I was able to attend a ribbon cutting ceremony at the Skidmore ISD school, opening up the new high school, which today is the first day of opening. Excellent job on the facilities, state of the art. I was really impressed with the classrooms. And just about in every classroom, they have a large TV monitor, if you will, whiteboards, new desk. They, facility staff did an excellent job pulling all that together. And also, when they said last year that they were going to open up on the 6th, I was really happy to see that they met their commitment. So it went really well. A lot of people showed up, so it really went well. So kudos to everyone involved getting that school going. It's going to really be a big part of our county and helping educate young, bright minds for the future. So good deal. Great to hear that. I was able to attend a EOC kickoff meeting where Jen and Angela with our group helped facilitate that meeting. It went very well. A lot of good participation. Really glad that that's getting kicked off in a good positive mode. So that's really good. Thanks to Roads and Bridges, had some calls on some brush and some touch up on some driveways. They took care of that really quick. So thank you, Molly, and your team for doing that. Appreciate that. Taxes office, great job that's going on over there. I got an opportunity to visit, and they were like ants. I mean, they were crawling all over the place trying to get it wrapped up. So it was exciting to see that much construction going on. So that's good. And with that, Judge, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Well, thank you, gentlemen, for those reports. I'll keep my comments incredibly brief. Happy New Year. I'd like to thank, I don't know that we had the opportunity, maybe we did. Did we have the opportunity to thank the auditor's office and everybody else who participated in our Christmas party? Did we do that? If we didn't, thank you all. I don't know how many of y'all are here that spent a whole bunch of time, but for those of y'all that did, thank you.
And they volunteered for next year, too?
I think so. Well, they got voluntold by Candy. I think she really appreciated not having to carry that burden. So moving on to agenda item number 6, public comment. Mrs. King, I just thank you again. Do you remember if we had thanked y'all for all the work, like at Commissioner's Court, for all the work that y'all did on the office party or the county Christmas party?
Well, you did at the Christmas party.
But not here.
I
Well,
appreciate
I'm
it.
sorry that you had to step out, but I
No.
just said a whole lot of glowing things about you.
Thank you,
And
Judge. I
staff.
appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It was our pleasure.
And
We
Sandy,
enjoyed it.
Commissioner Farias volunteered your office for next year's event. So he said it was so good.
We're on
He wants
it.
to see y'all do it again.
Yes, we would.
We all
we would love to.
concurred. But great
Thank
job.
you. Thank you all very much. It was a great time.
So this is public comment. Before I ask if anybody would like to speak in public comment, I'm gonna do, and I apologize in advance, and this is a little non-traditional. And forgive me, hopefully I don't mispronounce your name, Ms. I just did it. Adaramola. Ms. Adaramola is a fourth-year medical student from
Texas A&M.
from Texas A&M, fourth-year medical student. She's going to be down here for a week. And in that process, you're here with Mrs. Casas, so this is a formal arrangement that Krista Spahn has. Oh, A&M, with local.
We've been using for almost 3 years now.
Would you mind, Ms. Adamarola, would you mind just telling us a little bit more about yourself? I'm so glad you're here, and I thank you so much for making the effort to come to Commissioner's Court this morning and introduce yourself if you don't want to. I understand.
That's fine.
Okay. Come on up. Come up to the lectern if you don't mind. That'd be great. Sorry. I'm sure Mrs. Casas didn't tell you this was going to happen.
Good morning, everybody. Like I said, my name is Abigail Adaramola. I'm a fourth-year medical student with Texas A&M, and I'm here visiting this week as part of the rural medicine program with the school. And I'm just really excited to be here. I'm originally from Houston, so it's kind of my first time, not really used to the small town vibes. I lived in United right yesterday, but so far so good.
Well, welcome and thank you so much for
Thanks.
coming. And is this program, does it include a commitment? Is it your goal to work in a rural environment when you graduate from medical school?
No, it's not. That's not part of the program per se. It's just a chance for people to experience rural medicine to see if that is what you're interested in. And so I am interested in family medicine, so I'm
Great.
considering rural medicine.
It's my job to look.
And yeah, I was just about to say, she's been trying to convince me since yesterday to come here.
Well, you know, and everybody else is just as sweet and approachable and engaging in this county as Mrs. Casas. We couldn't think of a better ambassador for our community. So thank you, Roxanne, for all you're doing for us, and Ms. Adderwood. Ms. Adamarola. I did it wrong. Abigail, thank you for being here.
Thank y'all.
Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, commissioners and Judge Morrow.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Liz. Thanks for all you do.
Yes, sir.
Is there anybody here, anybody else here who'd like to address Commissioner's Court and allow me to climb out of this huge hole that I just dug? Nobody? Wow, thanks y'all. Okay. All right, moving on. Let me get back to my first page. Roxanne has brought in maybe 3 or 4, I mean, I think she brought in at least half a dozen or the program, but 2 Commissioners Court, 3 or 4, and we haven't had them actually speak. They just introduced themselves, and so I thought it would be good for us to learn a little bit about the fruits of those labors. Moving on, agenda item number 7. The following items are of an administrative nature. Commissioners Court has been furnished documentation on each item, and all such items may be acted upon by one vote without being discussed separately unless requested by a commissioner or county judge.
Move to approve.
I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Ms. Cantu, anything?
No, unless there's any questions. These are November monthly reports that are attached. We're catching up with the holidays, yes.
Okay, excellent. There's no further discussion. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you. Discuss and consider action on the following items. Acknowledge new B County Appraisal District board members. We just wanted to put this on the agenda. It had been a spirited DCAD board member appointment season, and I thought, and I think this is pretty true, that all of us here on Commissioners Court want to thank you. That's what I was looking for. Fumbling with my words. Wanted to thank everybody for their interest in putting their name in the hat to serve, and congratulations on the successful appointees. And those folks are going to be making up the board of directors of the B County Appraisal District is King Fuller, Ernest Hurst, Michael Keeney, Paul San Miguel, and Jess Staples. So thank you all for your willingness to serve your community. It's a very thankless job, and we know it's difficult, and there's a lot of challenges and a lot of opportunity there. So we look forward to seeing your progress. I'd open the floor to any other comments.
The only thing I would add, Judge, is that we saw some information recently that the legislature may add 3 members to the board, elected members. I didn't get the legislation citations exactly where it is, but my best guess is if that happens, they will be on the ballot in November during the general election, and it will be a board of 8, 5 appointed, and then 3 elected. Saw that in our County Progress magazine, so there should be some validity to it. It's the first I've heard of it. Could make it very interesting.
Yes, sir. Well, we may be back at the
Back again.
voting board not too long from now. Anything further? Okay, moving on. Agenda item number 9. Approve court reporter and court coordinator job descriptions for the 2nd Multi-County Court at Law Office of Dean, Live Oak, and McMullen counties. As everybody's well aware, last legislative session, the Texas legislature created a multi-county court at law for B, Live Oak, and McMullen counties. It is the 2nd multi-county court of law in the state of Texas. There are some benefits to having it. It's going to provide some relief to our district judges and to our county judges from a trial court docket perspective. The 2nd multi-county court at law is going to be housed in Live Oak County at the Live Oak County Justice Center, which is attached to the Live Oak County Sheriff's Office. It's a very nice courtroom, and there's chambers behind the courtroom, and that's where the judge's chambers will be located. In creating the position, B County also funded two positions within the county court at law, being a court reporter and a court coordinator. Because it's a small office, the court coordinator will also act as a primary receptionist as well, secretary, executive assistant, what have you, as well as coordinating the placement of matters on dockets and main primary point of contact for dealing with the judge for attorneys and so on and so forth. Court reporter is the person who writes down or transcribes everything that is said when court is in session. Two positions are incredibly important. We want our multi-county court at law judge to be able to hit the ground running. So we've created these two job descriptions so that we can go ahead and post the jobs for hiring purposes. And I know this isn't quite along the lines of this agenda item, but we will be having the swearing-in ceremony for Harvey Hardwick, who's going to be the initial first multi-county court at law judge. He will be on the ballot as well. But for our appointment purposes, he will be appointed this Wednesday. So I hope he's ready. If you're watching, Harvey, I know the district judges have many cases they're interested in having assistance with, as do I. So hopefully everybody's had an opportunity to review those. I'd entertain a motion at this time.
Move to approve the comment.
I have a motion and a second. Commissioner DeWitt, you have the floor, sir.
Looking over those position descriptions, they're very detailed, they're very focused in on what has to be done. There's certifications involved. Not just anybody can be one of these folks.
Yes, sir.
And my question, who's going to be doing the interview?
So we haven't got to that point.
Okay.
To that point yet, but Mr. Hardwick is going to be
Right, he would
the
be
primary
supervisor.
decider,
Okay.
of those two positions.
But
Yes, sir.
I was very impressed with the position descriptions. They're very well done, very succinct, so that's my comment.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Anything further? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 10, approve policy formulation committee to create the B County Public Nuisance Abatement Policy and Procedures for recommendation to Commissioners Court. I can provide a brief explanation for this. We've got an issue in the county, folks, and the issue in the county is that we have a good group of individual offices within the county that are focused on reducing crime, on preventing crime, on inspecting and making sure that the community is safe to the extent that we can as county officers. So we have multiple departments within the county that all have to work in conjunction with each other. And sometimes that can be difficult. Oftentimes, Mr. Guerrero, our community affairs director, is able to get landowners to voluntarily clean up their and that is how all of us on Commissioners Court and everybody in the county would like the process to be able to work. If Officer Guerrero comes up and says, hey, you've got too much trash here, it's in the bar ditch, or whatever the violation is, the idea is that the citizen, recognizing that they have run afoul of the policy here in the county or law of the state of Texas, more pointedly, would voluntarily cure that issue, obtain their own assistance, and be proactive. Because the nicer we keep our properties, the nicer the properties around us look, and it's sort of a community thing. We all do a little bit, and the whole community gets better. We do have some problem properties, and over the course of the last year, 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years, those properties have, and the owners of those properties have failed to provide their own self-help. There's many reasons, or explanations, I should say, not reasons. There's many explanations why, but there is no good reason. And so then the county is left with two potential avenues of recourse. The first avenue being criminal. We can turn over once our community affairs director completes his process of engaging the landowner, giving written notice to the landowner, in many cases giving multiple written notices to the landowner, giving the landowner multiple opportunities to have time to solve the problem themselves, then those files, so to speak, can be turned over either to law enforcement or directly to our prosecutor's office, who can conduct their own investigation, and oftentimes, as it would be a misdemeanor, on the sworn statement of an affidavit or an affiant, can file their own information. Criminally prosecuting a citizen because of trash accumulation or an unkept nature of their property is the last thing anybody wants to do. None of us relish it at all, but there does come a point in time when left with no other options that is the only option left. The other track that can proceed at the same time as a criminal process is a civil process. And that civil process starts the same way, with our community affairs director engaging the landowner or the offender and trying to obtain voluntary compliance. In the absence of that, then there's the ability for the community affairs director to go to Justice of the Peace, provided that we provide them with authority to do so, and the Justice of the Peace can, in effect, haul the offender into court to show cause why they shouldn't have to clean up their property, or why the county should not be allowed to follow its abatement policy. And so if that hearing is successful, it means two things. It means the county has an abatement policy, and that the judge did not feel that the citizen had successfully argued for any of alternate means of cleaning up the property. Those two things in conjunction with each other will authorize the county to utilize its own funds to go upon the property, clean the property up itself, and then lien the property for recuperation of those expenses that we had to advance. None of us want to spend county money to clean up private property either, but again, we're left with very bad options, but they are the options that we have to undertake. I made some effort to prepare a B County Public Nuisance Abatement policy and procedures for this meeting. I was unsuccessful, but I'm not trying to draft something without it going through the proper channels to begin with. And so I'm asking the Commissioners Court, one, I want to give everybody an update on where we're at, and two, I'm asking Commissioners Court to go ahead and in effect engage the policy formulation committee to get this started ASAP, so that hopefully, ideally, we can bring back a recommended policy and procedure to Commissioners Court at our next Commissioners Court meeting. That being said, I open the floor for discussion.
Judge, as you know, I was in that position for 10 years. Unless the law has changed, the way it had to be done back then, we had to have public hearings and create a policy. What I would recommend before we get too deep in this is that the sample policy that you got from another county be run by the Texas Association of County Attorneys to be sure we can do that.
Certainly.
Before we spend a lot of time, because the law was very specific. Jose Alaceta was a county judge, I was community affairs. We had public hearings in Pettus and Mineral. And the reception we got, I don't want to have those again. It was not good.
For the passing of a policy.
For the passing of a abatement policy, because what the people said was, and it's been years, but I'm going to try to remember the quote. You mean that gives you the authority to go on my property, my ranch, and tell me that my barn needs to be torn down, and you're going to tear down my barn and put a lien on my property? And the reception we got was very cold. Because that was the attitude out there that once you inaugurate this policy and had to have public hearings, the whole 9 yards, I probably still have a list of the people that were there somewhere in that office. They said, we don't want to do that. Cities do that. They have power that counties don't have. We only have the power that the state gives us. So I'd recommend before we go too far about adopting a policy maybe another county has done, we make sure with Texas Association of Counties we can do that.
Sure, certainly. I don't have a problem with that at all, and I would hate to upset anybody, but the alternative is criminal prosecution.
Right, because At what point would we figure out what crosses that threshold to?
I'm not commenting, I'm commenting to the people that don't want to hear it. I was like, I don't know what you want, we have to.
No, I understand, we need to get something that's got some teeth, not just go slap them on the hand and they do it again.
But I definitely will, I think that's really good, I appreciate that.
But maybe we do need to get some direction on that. But no, I'm all for it. We just need to move forward.
Great explanation. I've been looking for that for quite some time. And I guess the big question, you know, in precinct 4, you know, we have some similar type areas that are like that. Probably very sensitive, as you were mentioning earlier too, you know, whether we can do anything or not on those pieces of property. I guess the question I have for unincorporated areas, would this still be in effect?
Yes.
Everything
outside of Beeville is unincorporated.
Yeah, all communities.
Just wanted some clarity
Yeah,
on that,
absolutely.
because I know the city has some other.
And another thing that was told to me, we trust the current commissioner's court that was back then, but we don't know what may be on the next commissioner's court, and some commissioner may have a mad-on for me and decides he's gonna tear down my barn. So that's the thought process that I heard
understand.
back then. The real, and I'm the same way, I'm very cautious about giving the government any more authority, any more power than they already have. How are you gonna use it? And it's all in the eye of the beholder, and I understand Mr. Guerrero's done a great job on finding these things, trying to do what he can. The experience I had, the landowner themselves is ultimately responsible, period. Whether you dumped it on there or I dumped it on there, the landowner's ultimately responsible. And that's where I'm thinking we may not have done that. I don't know, I'm not involved with that anymore. But that landowner's the one I always went to and said, okay, you're the one got to clean this up. Yeah, but John dumped it. I don't care. It's your land. It's on your property. And that's what I did.
Whether it's called in health and safety code.
Well, it's in Health and Safety Code 365 and 285 and the others, and the water code can be involved. There's a whole lot of state codes you can use. But we didn't have the authority to go on private property and clean it up and put a lien on their property.
Do you remember about what year that was?
2005, roughly, 3 or 4 or 5.
Great memory.
I wonder if we approved an abatement policy.
No, sir, I know we did not.
Oh, you know we didn't.
I was there, we have not. Because that's what we were gonna do was incorporate that. And there's a set of statutes that you have to follow to do that policy. And part of that statute is public hearings. And I remember Judge Aliseda said, I would like for you to wear your sidearm when we go to these places. And I did. And I had some comments about that, some people did.
Well, hopefully the constituents understand, one, that there is a barrier, and it's the justice of the peace. This is a civil process, not a criminal process. We have a criminal process. Criminal process brings the possibility of incarceration and fines. And again, it's maybe a harsh remedy, but it's kind of like our landowners. Well, it's not kind of like, actually, it's different. It's the same thing, but the same results, so I'll just leave it at that. But look forward to working through the process, one way or the other. There's only so much that we can do, but,
The judge, part of it was determined it's a public health nuisance or a health hazard. And that's tough, because who makes that determination?
right, I think at that stage it's the justice of the peace. And I'm sure there's the right to appeal a justice of the peace ruling, and I'm sorry, and again, no disrespect intended, I'm sorry to any constituent in D County or anybody in the United States of America. If you're going to come back to that point and say, we can't trust the judges, we can't trust the politicians,
No.
we can't trust anything, well then, guys, I don't know what we're doing here. We're a nation of laws.
Judge, and there are some rules in place already. It's just like the one in particular that I have now. Once it exceeded a certain weight limit, it jumped the JP class and it went to.
Yeah, and we don't want to, the fact that it gets to that point, so.
Yeah, so it already exceeded the weight and everything else, so now it went to felony charge.
And a lot of it has to do, is it in a neighborhood, is it out in the rural area? There's so many parameters that it's not as easy as it sounds.
Okay.
And as we found out, because it's so many years on the books already.
Yeah, no, and that's really interesting insights. Thank you for
Judge,
bringing
this is refreshing to hear. Glad you put it on the agenda, because I know I've had some concerns and seeing, what can we help do, because I've had people within the community come to me and said, hey, what do we need to do? How do we get this stuff cleaned up? And then, there's two sides to the story, right? Then there's the other side, like you were referring to, don't come on my property, don't touch it, it's not your job. So I'm getting torn between the two. That at a high level, that is, we've been here a long time, the county's been existing for a long time. What's driving us to go forward? I'm excited about it, I really am. Is there something?
Problem properties.
Okay.
And what you get into is singling out one particular property when you have an abatement policy for the whole county now.
Yeah, because as we're talking about this, I can think of several properties that just
I know.
come to mind, So, you're right, you treat one, you have to treat them all.
We just need to tread carefully.
And I think before, I know since I've been on the bench, I know that we've addressed the issue with the Community Affairs Office. Our Community Affairs Director doesn't write tickets, he doesn't write citations, at least he hasn't.
Can't.
Yeah, because we want the community, oh, okay. Can't write a citation?
No, sir, it has to be a 30-day notice.
Okay.
Unless it's an emergency.
Unless it goes to the sheriff's office.
That's a whole different, that's not community affairs.
Well, I know that we want community affairs to be
Right.
rehabilitative, not punitive.
That's correct. They're regulated.
Right. So, anything further?
No, sir. Thank you.
No.
I entertain a motion.
Thank you.
Table. No, I don't want to table this. I'll make the motion to approve the policy formulation committee to begin work on creating the B County public nuisance abatement policy and procedures for recommendation to Commissioners Court.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. Don't we already have a policy formulation committee?
We're going to use the one that's in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
Yes, there already is one.
yeah.
Okay, I have a motion and I have a second. Any further discussion? Victor, you're
No, sir.
not. No.
No, sir. I'm not.
That's
You're on
what
the policy
it's
committee.
I'm going to do all the heavy lifting. I just need a policy formulation committee to make sure that I'm not running afoul of anything.
Precinct one's over.
Precinct one?
Yes,
Good. Be a good project.
absolutely.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Who
Hearing-
made the motion? Sorry.
I made the motion. I seconded. Commissioner Fidias seconded.
Thank you.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Look forward to seeing this come back and maybe it all goes to before you consider it. Moving on, agenda item number 11, approve expo request for arena fee waiver from the B County Junior Livestock Homemaker Show for their horse show practice on January 7 and January 14, 2024.
No move, sir.
Second.
I have a motion, multiple seconds. Commissioner DeWitt, I think, was first. Commissioner Olivares. All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 12, approve B County Clerk's request to use the B County credit card to reserve rooms for the 2024 County and District Clerks Association of Texas Winter Conference on January 29, 2024.
Move to approve.
Second.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
I've got one vote.
Aye. I'll say.
All opposed?
Sorry, I was reading.
The motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen. Agenda item number 13, approve district attorney's request to use the county credit card to hold hotel reservations for calendar year 2024.
Move to approve. I noticed that he's saying calendar year, that way you don't have to keep coming back.
Yes, sir.
That's-
Yeah, I
that's-
noticed that as well.
That's very good.
I did
Second.
let the district attorney's office know that we had done that in the past, and that
Okay.
was acceptable if they wanted to do that.
I've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Thank you. As I get older, my hearing gets worse. I can hear y'all speaking under your breath. Agenda item number 14, approve district attorney's racial profiling analysis report for 2023. We don't
Move to approve.
Yeah, we did. I've got a motion to approve. Do I have a second? No, the second?
It was all zero.
Yes, sir. I know, I have a second. Come on up. Yes, sir.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. Everybody, good morning. Once again, it's that time of year for our racial profile analysis report. We are still considered exempt, and we have submitted, I believe, to your office the report of our stats, which should be answered.
We have that, yes, sir.
Is there any questions that can answer?
You might identify yourself.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Rick Alvarez with the District Attorney's.
Y'all are exempt, but you still have to complete the report.
Yes, sir. Every year, we have to report it to the commission by the 10th, I believe, and then present it to the commissioner's court as soon as we're close as we can to it.
Well, thank you. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. That was good. Thank you, Administrator. Do you know what that was?
Sounded like a truck.
It was just a truck?
that stopped.
Stop right before the light.
Yeah, really close.
Yeah.
The wall was about to rip open.
Well, you could feel the
It was power
vibration.
I was asking if you
Thank you,
seconded
Mr.
number 14.
I think Commissioner Wood made the motion. Is that
Yes,
right?
you made the motion, but.
And Commissioner Fuddy is next. Moving on, agenda, did I take the vote? Now you have me confused.
Yes, everybody said aye.
Okay. Agenda item number 15, approve new standard mileage rates effective January 1, 2024. Looks like they're going up a little bit,
A little bit, 1.5
1.5
cent,
up.
1.5 cents.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further
It's
discussion?
0.67 cents in the rate, right?
0.67, yes, sir.
Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Moving on, agenda item number 16, approve a Medtronics Control Company credit application for the B County Sheriff's Office.
Move to approve.
Got a motion, do I have a second? I have a thumbs up from Chief Deputy as well. Any further discussion? That's a good question. What is Medtronics?
It's a good question, Judge. I can get to the bottom of it and get back.
He was already getting on his
I'm
phone.
assuming it's something to do with
There we go.
the AC or the sector.
It's an operational system
Yes, sir.
maintenance contract.
I'm sure it's.
Yes, and it did come through the auditor's office.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye. All opposed, motion passes without exception. It's a story that you should always be careful of asking a question you don't know the answer to. Agenda item number 17, approve G-Tech Communications 12-month service agreement for new internet services at B County Justice of the Peace Precinct 4 office.
I approve of the question.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Yes, so, Commissioner Olivalis, you go first and then. okay,
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I know we just initiated this contract with Spectrum, and I'm just curious that we stepped out of that contract to go with someone else. If there was some leverage there, or if there's a reason.
Precinct 4 and Precinct 2 are both not on the Time Warner contract that we have with the rest of the county departments because of their location. Precinct 4 had AT&T services, and since November, December timeframe of last year, the internet, there's been a problem on AT&T side with the respective delivery of the service, and AT&T up until I think the end of the year had failed to actually come out and cure the issue. So Judge Cantu and working with Mrs. Cantu's office, as well as with our IT department, had looked at the issue, tried to get AT&T to straighten it out. We confirmed that the AT&T contract is not an AT&T contract for a term of years. It was month to month, so there's no cancellation penalty. Yeah, there's no issue there. And G-Tech is a local provider out of Portland that Mrs. Cantu, Judge Cantu would like to utilize.
Great. Thank you for the explanation, Judge.
Yes, sir, Commissioner Beeville.
Something that I noticed that it always is good whenever we're saving money. I'm looking through this, that changing from AT&T to G-Tech is gonna save $528 a year. But the main thing I wanna do, I've got some kudos in here for somebody. Looking through these emails, Ms. Christina Cano, the work she did, putting together exactly what had to be done was so concise and succinct. A shout out to her, good job.
Thank you.
I am so impressed even an old retired state employee could understand what she was saying.
Perfect.
And it was perfect.
Commissioner.
So she did a good job, so please tell her
I
that
will
I
definitely.
really appreciate what she did, the way she lined out what had to be done. It was very good.
Thank you.
So Christine O'Connell gets a thumbs up today.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes without exception. Agenda item number 18, approve Justice of the Peace Precinct 4 request to use county credit card for GTech internet deposit.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I do want to say it's $25 at the time of the setup, of the service setup, and that $25 will go towards the first month payment bill, so.
So your motion is to approve an expenditure of $25 on the county credit card for GTech internet deposit, which will then be rolled into the first month's. So it's not we're not actually paying for installation.
Yes.
I'll amend the second.
Okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. I saw, I know she's not, if you're watching, I saw the widow of George Tanner this past Saturday, and I commented to her that ever since I had the privilege of serving with her husband, George Tanner, on the First National Bank Board, I had stolen and appropriated for my own use his method and mechanism of calling for motion, calling for votes. And so this is just for me to talk more than anything else. No, seriously, the way that I say the things that I say is directly attributable to George Tanner, a man who I hold in high esteem, and it was when I saw his widow that it really made me think about it again. And so I'm very appreciative for all of the lessons that I learned from Mr. Tanner while we were engaged together. So, moving on, agenda item number 19, approve Texas opioid settlement agreements. We have no new settlement agreements. I think I received an email maybe a month ago that said there's something coming on the horizon. We've got another one coming up, but nothing has come through yet. So this is just a standing item that we keep on in the event that our attorneys get more money for us. Agenda item number 20, Hurricane Harvey, Texas General Land Office, GLO, Community Development Block Grant, CDBG status and project update. Anything, commissioners?
No, I have a email from Natalie, and she just said she hadn't heard anything from the GLO, but it's still being reviewed.
Okay. All right. Anything further? Nothing. All right, moving on. Agenda item number 21, American Rescue Plan, ARP status and projects. Commissioners?
No, sir. Commissioner? Your EOC, didn't it?
Yes. They were starting to put up, was that Friday we were out there?
Mm-hmm.
All went together. They were starting to put up the fencing around it to secure the area up and start the construction process. Other than that, there's nothing going on that we talked about in committee.
We are in the works of planning a groundbreaking for the EOC facility, so that's going to be in the next couple of weeks, from my understanding, if everything kind of aligns. So that's exciting. I also wanted to give an update on the fire departments. December 31st was the deadline for them to expend their funds, and they have all done so.
Okay.
Yes. So we're awaiting the backup and to complete those disbursements.
Good.
So that's
Thank you for that
exciting too.
information. I was wondering about that.
Yes.
Some of it been a
Jen
little bit
just-
slow.
Yes, Jen just gave me that update before I came, so I
That's
wanted to
awesome.
make sure to share that.
I'm going to steal Commissioner DeWitt's phraseology here, maybe to a slight degree. And once again, I was thinking as we were talking about these two don't have really anything to update us on the Hurricane Harvey grant, which is millions of dollars, and don't have too much to update us on the ARP, which is millions of dollars. And I was thinking those were heady days the last 3 years, the amount of money, the windfalls that were flowing into our county. And so the part that I'm stealing from Commissioner DeWitt is once again to thank our ARP committee for a judicious and excellent recommendation and apportionment of those funds for county. purposes. I really think y'all knocked it out of the park, so thank y'all very much.
It's one of those situations, we may never see it again, but we had a chance to do good, and I appreciate what you, I think we did good.
I agree. Is there anything further that needs to come before the court on agenda item number 21? We have no executive session items, so we move on to agenda item number 22.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I have a motion, do I have a second? I have a motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion passes without exception. Thank you, gentlemen.